Hello, hello. My name is Navwalia, and this is episode 16 of your favorite show, Quarter Life Chit Chat, the podcast where I tell weird stories, sprinkle a little bit of wisdom, interview my friends, tell insane Reddit stories, and once in a while, create a little bit of drama. Today's episode is a bit special because today I'm telling a very crazy story. This happened to me literally like 2 weeks ago and I'm still dealing with it. Because today's episode, I'm telling the story of how I got kidnapped. Yep, you heard that right. I got kidnapped. And spoiler alert, this story, there's gonna be a lot of laughs, weird turns, and a lot of anger. A lot of it. Without further ado, let's hop into this. And I actually just realized now that I'm recording this on camera, not only do I look like a plump raspberry in this pink t-shirt, but I'm also wearing it inside out. So that's cool. I think that roughly describes how my life is proceeding. Alright, let's get into this story. So, this story starts off roughly 2-ish weeks ago. Both my parents had a day off, and they decided, let's make a good fun family day. It was a weird to me, well, it was a red flag. For one, it is summer. Why are you making me go out in the summer? The sun sucks. And secondly, we're not white. So I do not have the obsession of always doing things in the sun like most people in Canada because God has already given me melanin. I don't need to look tanner. I'm tanned enough. So my family's like, all right, Nav, we're going to make a fun day. Let's go to the Malahat Skywalk. For those who do not know, I live in Victoria, BC, a small little town in Canada. And roughly 20-ish minutes ago, there's this cool-ass leaning tower of Pisa, which is not leaning so much. And it's basically where you walk all the way up and you enjoy the scenery of Vancouver Island. It was very lovely, but it was a really, really hot day. I walk all the way up, and upon my descent down, I took a bunch of pictures up top, obviously, because, I'm an Instagram girly. So I walk all the way down, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm parched, and I would love some ice cream. Like, you know what I mean? Like, ice cream on a sunny day just hits... It's a chef's kiss, really. So I walk all the way down. There's an ice cream stall on the vicinity. I'm like, okay, oh my God, let's go. Hell yeah. I go there. I'm like, hi, like, I would like an ice cream. And he's like, oh my God, like, And I turn to my right, and it's the name of the ice cream stand. Okay, let's just call it ice cream stand. Now, being the fat fuck that I am, I've never really looked at an ice cream stand's name. Why the fuck would I be bothered? I just want some ice cream, like, give me my thing. But it was called Softies, and that was a cute name. And underneath it, I read something that I personally, in that moment, dealing with blistering heat, and I fucked up by wearing all black, dealing in that temperature and all this, the words I read can only be described as a hate crime. Because underneath the Softie stance, it wrote... dairy-free ice cream. Pause. Now I understand there's some people in the world that, are lactose intolerant. And I think even they understand that lactose tastes amazing. Why the fuck am I in the hot sun? And why are you the only ice cream shop in a whole park serving dairy-free ice cream? I'm confused. Shouldn't there be options? Shouldn't it be like, okay, like those who are not lactose intolerant, you can have the, cow booby juice ice cream. And I'm going to get canceled for calling milk cow booby juice. Okay, moving past that. Shouldn't there be an option that is like, hey, here's the, your regular milk ice cream and here's the dairy-free? No. This place just had dairy-free. I take that as an act of offense. Okay, this is nothing but discrimination at its finest against regular ice cream. So, being the piece of shit that I am, I do not buy it. I'm like, sorry, I'm out. I'm leaving. We go on this weird hike through, again, on the same park, where it was like kind of like a scavenger hunt. And we do that, and through it all, it was very dusty, so I just ruined my new shoes, which is whatever. We do the park, and this is where the kidnapping starts, people. I get in my car, and my parents are like, hey, it's only like 2:30 or 3. Let's just drive around a little bit. We already left our house, so I'm like, okay, sure, why not? We go to this amazing restaurant at the resort called Villa Erie. It was lovely. The food was lovely. I, munch on some food. I am now relaxing. My parents get in a car, and they start driving further up island on Vancouver Island. And my mom goes, Nav, I've been trying to go to Tofino for a while. You've never been. Should we go? And I'm like, ooh, I don't know. Like, I'm like, not really feeling it. And the next thing you know, my dad's like, well, we can go if you want to go. And I just jokingly say, well, I don't really have anything to do, so sure, I guess. And now we're on our way to Tofino. What? We are now driving on a whim to Tofino. We did not pack anything. We do not have clothes. We do not have reservation. We have nothing. I am sitting in the back seat, borderline entertained that my parents are so spontaneous. I have been spontaneous, but I'm mostly just annoyed at the fact that I'm getting kidnapped because I meant to say, sure, I don't have any plans, sarcastically, and my parents thought it was real. So, we drive for 30 minutes up island, and then we take a quick detour because my parents realize they have to, pick up clothes and certain medication because they just have to be on medication because they're just too awesome. Legit. Believe it or not, it's literally a medical thing. So, we drive now 45 minutes backwards back to my house to pick up the medication, the clothes, and all that. It is now roughly, I want to say, 6 p.m. It's now 6 p.m., and I just arrived at home. We're packing. We're leaving our house at 7:30. The drive to Tofino from my house is roughly 4 hours, okay? If I'm being a speed demon, it's probably 3 hours and 45 minutes. So, I am not driving to Tofino. We do not have any hotels booked. We do not have anything booked. We're driving a spontaneous thing. My parents, the most brown parents of all time. What do brown parents do under pressure? Those of you who are thinking, they are probably thinking of where to get a hotel room. Or you're probably thinking they're very excited. Or you're probably thinking that like most brown people, they're singing Bollywood songs. No, none of those people. They are fighting. They're fighting each other to understand which hotel to get. And our options were only two. Two options. One hotel in each. Per night, it was, I think, one hotel bedroom was, I think, $1,200. And the other one was in Ucluelet, which was like $900 for the night. They're fighting where do we stay. I am just driving with my parents borderline screaming 1 foot away from me, and I'm just now driving. And I'm just trying to zone out. I'm thinking, holy shit, this is really happening. A random, spontaneous trip to Tofino. This is it. Here's a little bit of context. Not only do I hate the sun, not a big fan of the ocean either. Beaches, I think it's cool and all if you've never seen the mountains. But beaches are probably the most inferior things that God has created. They're not that cool. The ocean's not that cool. It's all mid. I'm a more mountain kind of guy. I like the cold. I like to see mountains. The ocean, beaches, fuck off. It's a bit too Caucasian for a person of my melanin. Let's just say that in the kindest way possible. So I go, and we are now in Nanaimo. Right, I've been driving for I think like hour and a half maybe, and I'm officially in Nanaimo. And let me tell you, I've never been in Nanaimo. I may have when I first got to Canada when I was 11. Didn't even know Nanaimo existed at the time. And I'm in Nanaimo. Here's the thing: people that live in Victoria, BC, they just hate Nanaimo. I don't know if Nanaimo people hate Victoria people, but Victoria people hate Nanaimo. That's at least what I heard. So I'm now officially in Nanaimo, and let me tell you, first of all, I am convinced that every person that drives in Nanaimo hates their lives because they all are driving beaten down trucks and they do not use turning signals. What the hell is this? Okay, what is this? I'm sure even my blind dead grandma could drive better. What the fuck? Secondly, I needed some gasoline. What do you do when you need gasoline in your car? You're gonna say go to the gas station, and guess what? You're fucking wrong. No, you don't go to the gas station. You go to the greatest gas station that has ever been created by God, which is Costco. You go to Costco gas station because you get those sweet, sweet cash back, and honestly, Costco is our Lord and Savior. You heard it here first. So, we go to Costco in Nanaimo, and guess what? It's the only fucking Costco on the planet that doesn't have a gas bar. Is this a joke? Not only am I in Nanaimo, a city that I've heard so shitty of, I now understand why it sucks, because I'm surrounded by terrible drivers, and I cannot get gasoline at the greatest store of all time. Whatever, I put my hand on. We go to a different gas station, Petro-Canada, and I get out of my car, and I'm instantly hit with this scent of Nanaimo. The best way I can describe the air in Nanaimo to those who have never been is just imagine the smell of hepatitis. I've never had hepatitis. I don't know what hepatitis smells like, but Nanaimo air smelled like hepatitis. This place sucked. I'm sorry. If you're listening to this and you're from Nanaimo, I say this with the kindest and the sweetest and most respectful way possible. My sincere condolences. But no, I literally got in my car and it just smelled like hepatitis. And I'm trying to drive through the city and it all just sucks. Everybody just looked sad. I don't know what was happening, by the way. They all just looked sad and my parents are fucking bickering. We don't know where to stay, blah, blah, blah. So, I'm in Nanaimo and my parents officially make the decision that we're going to stay the night in Parksville and the next night in Tofino. And on the third night, we're going to come back home. Parksville, I believe, is like 20 minutes behind Nanaimo. So now I have to get gas in Nanaimo. I breathed in hepatitis, so now I gotta get vaccinated. And I'm driving all the way back to Parksville in pitch blindness. This is like 10 p.m. now. I haven't eaten anything since 3 p.m. I am starving. God, I am thankful for the fact that I have a lot amount of body fat on me, because if not, I was gonna starve, people. I would have fucking starved. Okay, god damn it. But now I'm in Parksville. So we go to a couple hotels. None of them were like adequate enough for us, which pretty much means that we're too bougie and our taster's bougie. We officially get to this one cool hotel. I don't remember the name. And it looked very, very nice. And the receptionist says that they have 2 bedrooms available. One's on floor 3. And the last one, she described it as a penthouse. She described the suite as a penthouse. She said, and the last thing we have is a penthouse. It's on 9th floor. It has ocean views. My parents are like, okay, we'll take the penthouse. We don't mind. And I'm hyped. I've never stayed in penthouse. The only penthouse experience I have is watching Hangover and the penthouse they destroyed in the first Hangover. So I'm expecting some cool things. We get to our penthouse. I'm hyped. I'm like, okay, this is it. Like, let's fucking go. Like, this is gonna be cool as hell. I walk in. It's the most basic room of all time. It is the most basic room of all time. There's 2 beds. There's no fridge. There's a 30-inch TV and a simple-ass chair, and it's just a normal room. What the fuck? This does not look like the penthouse I want to destroy after drinking 2 shots of whiskey. Okay, this is not a penthouse. What is this? This is just a room with 2 beds. Are you serial? Are you serial right now? I am utterly disappointed. The first thing I do is, obviously, I have been telling my friends all about it and talking it through on my journey. I send them pictures on our group chat, and the first thing they say is, I think you got scammed. That just looks like a normal room. And let me tell you, we were scammed. It did look like a normal room. And it was nighttime, and I couldn't enjoy the ocean views that, we paid for. So whatever. I am like, okay, we need to eat something. It is now 11:30. What is there open in the shithole that is Nanaimo to eat? You might be thinking a restaurant. You're wrong. It was McDonald's. So I go get McDonald's because nothing else is open. And let me tell you, I don't mind that. Some nuggies with some hot mustard. It's hard, people. It's hard. So we get some nuggies and we come back to our hotel room. And now we're vibing, we're chilling. My AC's making so much noise for some reason in our hotel room. It literally sounded like the gunfires from World War II. I couldn't sleep till 5 a.m. Which is saying something, because usually I'm in bed and I usually sleep at 4:30 a.m. So I could not get a proper sleep. And we woke up at 9 a.m. and Mom's like, Nav, look outside. It's a beautiful ocean view. Come on, look. So I get out of my bed, half asleep. My eyes dried as hell. I step onto the balcony to look at the ocean views. And the first thing I see is so much sand. The ocean had retreated, I'm not joking, the size of Texas. There was nothing to see. I'm pretty sure I could have ran for an hour straight into the direction of the ocean and still not hit water. I just look at my mom and I just immediately knew this is what it feels like when your parent has betrayed you. This is what it feels like. Because my mom said, look at the view, and I didn't see any. Okay, I did not fucking see any. I am now disappointed. I put my clothes on, I head down the lobby, and I'm ready to get the fuck out of Hepatitisville. So, we get in our car, and we're like, okay, Tofino's next. I am driving. Now, let me tell you, I've never been to Tofino. My hopes are not very high because I'm not an ocean kid. But I'm excited as I've never been, and the views on the drive were phenomenal. I recommend it to everybody. Please, if you ever come to Vancouver Island, drive up to Tofino. It's beautiful views. But Tofino in itself? So let's get into that, yeah? So I arrive at Tofino. It is probably 2 p.m., maybe 1:30. We arrive in Tofino. And I'm driving, I'm looking, I'm like, what the fuck is any of this? It does not look like a place. And you're going to be wondering, like, what does that mean? Let me tell you. When we arrived at Tofino, it was literally like just a road. And on the side of the road is just entrance to the hotels. You can't see anything. It's just woods. So you're already like, what the fuck is this place? And then you get to downtown Tofino. I swear to God, I have never been to any place in the world, where I stepped out and I looked around and I thought to myself, what the fuck happened here? And the second thought I had is, I think I'm okay if a nuke was to land here. I'm not joking. This place sucked. Okay, the views were amazing, but they were fucking ruined by buildings being placed in awkward places. Like, why is there a restaurant literally on the road? There's no parking around it, on the road, that is blocking the view of the mountain. But I'm not even, you know what? I understand. The thing is, it's a flat road. There's houses everywhere. There's driveway. It literally looked, okay, it was literally one house, right beside it, a restaurant, right beside it, a clothing store, right beside it, a garage, and right beside it, a mechanic shop. What the fuck, what did I just see? What is that terrible planning? Okay, what am I looking at, first of all? And not even to add, the amount of tourists. Oh my God. Listen, I swear to God, there were like 2 billion people there, and there was not a proper place to even walk on the sidewalk. What the hell was happening? I was offended. There's no better way to describe it. I was offended. I was. I don't know what else to say. I was offended that I was at that place. It was tourists everywhere. You can't park. Noise everywhere. You see a glimpse of a mountain, but it's blocked by shitty old buildings. Literally, that are cracking down. And then there's so many European bros. And you can tell, by the way, if you don't know how to tell somebody who's from Europe, I'm going to tell you a very simple technique. They'll always be wearing loafers, always be wearing chino pants, and always will be wearing quarter-zip sweaters. No matter if it's winter, doesn't matter if it's summer, doesn't matter if they're in the middle of the ocean drowning. They'll always have a Ralph Lauren polo quarter-zip sweater on at all times. And you know what? I love my European bros. Okay, God damn it, you live life in fashion. And I respect that. So now I'm in Tofino, the shithole that this place is. As a person who loves the views, it's not fucking ruined by noise and shitty old building. And my mom asked, so Nav, what do you think of this place? And I just look at her, and I just, in my mind, I think, how dare you? How dare you? You kidnap me to bring me here? This sucks. But I'm also very thankful for my parents because they really do spoil me. If you're listening to this, thank you very much. I do love you. Anyways, moving past that, I was offended. I was offended that I was at that place. I look at my dad, I look at my mom, I'm like, I don't think I ever want to come to this place. Ever. I'd be okay if I found out that all of Tofino was ruined in a tsunami. No casualty though. Everybody lived. Everybody lived. Anyways, so we get a hotel in Ucluelet. The hotel room is cool. The next thing nobody told me is the amount of moisture in the air in Tofino and Ucluelet. Why was I getting waterboarded by the air? Can someone please explain me? I am trying to get away from the city and breathe some fresh air, but it looks like I'm getting waterboarded. When the fuck did I sign up for torture? What is this? I'm like, okay, fine. I'm dealing with it. My friend told me to go to this place called Rhino Donuts. Apparently, a Rhino Coffee or Rhino Donuts. Apparently, it's the best donut place in Tofino. It's known for it. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm already here. Let's make the best of it. So we go, and they're completely sold out. They only had cinnamon sugar, and they had an almond chocolate donuts. So I was like, okay, let's get it. Being an obese kid that I am, I love me some donuts. Actually, I really don't. I fucking hate some donuts. But sugar and dough. What's wrong with that? So I get it and bite into it, and oh my God, people, let me tell you, it was the densest and most disgusting thing I've ever eaten. What the fuck? What the fuck? You know how when you go to like Tim Hortons, or if there's any American listener to this, you go to Dunkin' Donuts and you bite into a donut and it's soft. It's like pillowy. Now imagine you biting into a bagel that wasn't fresh. It's like 200 days stale and it's just dough. That's what it felt like to biting into that world famous fucking Rhino donut. So my parents are now thinking, what do we do for dinner? It is our first and only night there. And I'm like, I kept hearing this thing, Tacofino. Tacofino is a taco place that started from Tofino, and apparently it's really good. So we're like, okay, let's go to Tacofino. Let's get some lunch slash brunch slash lunch and snack. I don't know how you classify that. But burritos at 4 p.m. should hit. So we go to Tacofino, and I'm not joking. I always wondered what it would look like during the Great Depression when food rations were being given out. And I now understand. It was a small stall with, menu written on the side. And I'm not joking. There were at least 400 people there. What? And I get in the line and I ask the person, I'm like, hey, how long is the lineup? I've never been here before. And she's like, oh, I've been standing here for 45 minutes. In front of her were at least, I want to say at least 40 to 60 people. I'm sorry, you've been standing here for 45 fucking minutes and there's 60 people ahead of you. There's people on the side eating, and then behind me, a couple more people joined the line. Does these burritos cure cancer? What the fuck is this lineup this long for? What? I'm sorry, what? I look at my mom looks at me, and I just look at her, I'm like, hey, listen, we both can afford to lose weight. We don't need to eat. Eating is overrated. I think I, as a fat kid, have eaten enough. I leave that stance. When I'm walking back to my car, some kid looks back at me and he's like, hey, bud, you're missing out, making a big mistake. And I look at him and I'm like, all right, don't fucking talk to me. And you're going to be wondering, now, why are you so angry? Well, let me tell you. Tofino was filled with surfer dudes. And you're going to be like, yeah, it's a surfing place. There are beaches everywhere. True. But we all know what a surfer bro looks like, and we all have a feeling about surfer bros. I'm just going to leave that to you. You can just connect the dots. Everybody was wearing these Billabong fucking shorts, or this Volcom shorts, and the shit-ass Vans. And it's like, okay, cool. I like the style. And everybody looked high. Not on weed, but on MDMA. What the fuck? I hate this. So my parents, after it's 5, now 6, we just ate some donuts. We're like, fuck it, this is it. We now go to the beach. Tofino's known for his beaches, they say. I go there, and I swear to God, I've never been more underwhelmed. I now understand how women feel when they are with men during a special night. You know that feeling of underwhelming, to all my female listeners? I know what you go through, when your partner lets you down. Actually, that's a weird statement to make when I'm describing being at the beach with my parents. Anyway, look, move past that. But the point I'm trying to make is, I understand what being underwhelmed meant, okay? I get there, it's the most basic, run-of-the-mill, shit-ass beach of all fucking time. What the hell? What the hell is this? And it's windy, and say, God bless. Now, here's the thing. There was we were at this hotel, and it was right on the edge of the beach. It was called Wickenish Inn. And it was a cool-looking hotel. And they had this hammocks that were just, anybody could use. So I'm like, okay, I've as a brown person, I've never experienced so many white people things like a hammock. I just don't, it's something that I've seen in the movies. It is something I've never witnessed in my life. I don't know if that's because I don't have white privilege, or if that has to do with the fact that I'm not white. I don't know. But I've never witnessed or been on a hammock. So I'm like, okay, let me hop on this. I am excited, people. It's windy. I love wind. I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit on this, and I do. So I get on the hammock. I'm in it. My parents are recording, and the moment I get on, for some fucking reason, the just flips, and I fall on my ass backwards. And now my tailbone is broken. I scratched up my knee, and there's dust all the way in crevices where dust shouldn't be. I'm fucking pissed. And you're going to be wondering, Nav, there's no way you're telling the truth right now. And let me tell you, there's a video. And I'm going to post it on the podcast Instagram, quarterlife_chit chat. I'm going to post it of me getting on the hammock and completely eating fucking shit by falling on the fucking ground because it flipped. And listen, I tell every one of my friends, you never quit. Okay, god damn it, you get up and you keep going. And I got up and I got on the hammock again and it still flipped again and I fell down again. I probably fell down from the hammock 3 times. How the fuck are people supposed to say? I am in pain. I am in pain. My parents are laughing their fucking ass off. And there was this like family who was like to our right, and they just look at me, and I just get up and I look at them, and they are just laughing hysterically at me. So whoever that family is, I'm glad I made your day because you guys did not look happy. I just want to say that. So what do? I'm disappointed that I'm in Tofino. I'm disappointed that I'm surrounded by fucking people who are just annoying and they talk like, you know the Hawaiian hand gesture with like the thumb up and the pinky out? A lot of people did that. And I don't know why, or like, do you think this is Hawaii because of the ocean? I don't know. But a lot of people did that and I don't know. I just felt like cultural appropriation to me for some kind. I don't know. But I wanted to make the best of the trip. So what do? I pull out my phone and I Google YouTube how to get on a hammock. I'm not joking. This might be the lowest moment of my life. Actually, it's not. I've had lower moments. But I really did Google how to get on a hammock because I kept falling 20 fucking times. I think I've fallen from it when trying to get up at least 8 times and they're all on video. I pull up a YouTube video and guess what? The place is so fucking remote, my data doesn't work. As a Gen Z, I think whoever's listening to me that is around the age of 25, you understand that like not having internet when you need it might be right up there with losing a family member. I don't know. Maybe that's an overextension. I don't know. But it hurts. It hurts. I needed the goddamn internet and I needed some guy on YouTube to tell me how to get on a hammock, but we couldn't. So I'm like, fine. I go down to the beach with my parents and I walk on the beach. My mom takes her shoes off and she's walking on the sand. And she's like, oh my God, Nav, this is so therapeutic. And I look at her, I'm like, I think the real therapeutic thing could be therapy, but, I guess walking on beach works. So they're walking on the beach and I looked left and right and, if my friend Nell is listening to this episode, I'm sure she can relate. Feet suck. Let's just be real. I don't understand foot fetish. I don't understand people that like feet. I personally don't, and I know my friend Nell doesn't either. I hate summer because why the fuck are people so comfortable with letting their dogs hang out? What is this? Cover up your fucking feet. We don't want to see this shit. Not saying you have ugly feet, not saying you have nice feet. Cover up your fucking feet, man. This is disgusting. Okay? Behave. Be better. What the shit am I looking at? The amount of people that are just walking with their feet out is gross. It's just, wallahi, it's an L. Okay? The waves are not like as big as I wanted them to be. And you might be wondering, well, how big of a wave were you expecting there, Nav? Enough to take out a whole city. Or at least take me out. That's what I was expecting, let me tell you. And they just weren't. I just knew that no wave's going to take me out, and I think that was a disappointment enough. I'm walking on the beach. My mom's walking with her feet in the sand. I'm like, okay, cool. I am now salty, and I am tired because I'm on 3 hours of sleep in the shitty fucking penthouse that was sold to me, but it really was just a simple shit-ass room. So, it is now dinner time. So, we go to the restaurant for dinner, and it was called Shelter Restaurant, and let me tell you something. The best part of traveling is food. And I swear to God, the food was so good. It was so good. Oh my God, I'm going to marry the chef that worked there. I ordered the salmon risotto. Unfucking believable. It was so good. It really just made me happy, and I had a nice view of the mountains in the background. It was lovely, lovely dinner. And for dessert, I had this apple and blueberry crumble. And I am not joking. I could cry right now. It was so good. It was so good, okay? Listen, whoever the fuck baked that, I swear to God, I hope you become a billionaire. I will pay you personal salary to cook for me. God damn it. It was so good. It was so good. And now I am driving back to Euclid, my hotel. I am driving back. It's nighttime. You can't see a single thing. It's probably like 12 a.m. or 1 a.m. at this point. I'm driving. I get to my hotel and I get out of the car, and my pants, they kind of feel wet. A little dampy, if that makes sense. And I know I don't have bladder issue, and I definitely was not partaking in any water sports. Wink, wink, the rated R kind. So my pants shouldn't be fucking damp. And in that moment, I realized the moisture in the fucking air is so much that my clothes feel a little dampy. I got to my room and I get into the quilt, and it also had that, like, it wasn't wet. I don't know how to describe it. It wasn't wet, but it was like kind of like it needed to be in the sun for a couple hours to become fresh and crisp, if that makes sense. And it just had that weird ass fucking feeling. And whatever. The hotel had Wi-Fi, so I watched Netflix all night. The next day, in Tofino, we woke up, checked out, went to Wicknish Inn for lunch. Great place. Recommend it. The food was amazing. I drove past Tacofino, and I flipped finger to everybody because I feel like Tacofino is overrated. And fuck you guys for waiting that long. Dicks. Because of you, I couldn't get my burrito. Fuck you. And now I'm at a different beach in Tofino, and my mom convinces me to walk on the beach because it's therapeutic, Nav. So I'm walking on the beach with bare feet, and first of all, I feel like a cheap escort with my feet out. Okay, I don't know why. I just felt that. Secondly, was not therapeutic at all. It was actually very hard. Why the fuck was sand hard? Was the sand aroused by something? Why was it hard? Question a lot of women have asked. But the sand was hard and it sucked. And my mom convinced me to go a little bit in the ocean. Now, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Brown people do not belong in the ocean. Our kind was not made to travel the ocean either. But I went in the ocean, ankles deep, and the water was blisteringly cold. It was colder than my soul and my heart. So you must imagine how cold that was. And that was nice for a second, and then I had to pee. Don't ask me where I went pee, because I think you already know the answer. So, moving past, we get in our car. My dad, there was this like provincial park, and you had to pay to park and visit it. And my dad paid the parking for it. I think it was like $30 for 3 people. And we go to the beach, and it was just another fucking bare-ass, shit-ass, bitch-ass, normal-ass beach. And my mom was fucking fuming. She's like, how could you spend $30 to visit another beach? What is this? And I am laughing. Okay, I'm laughing, and my dad's like, yeah, well, I'm just trying to see what it was. And I just look at him like, bro, we're on a coast. I feel like it was just going to be the ocean and some fucking sand on this side, too. And we walked a little bit on that beach, and there was like some people surfing, and this wave came and the surfer crashed, and he was like under the waves. And honestly, when I looked at him, I imagined myself not surfing but under the waves, and I felt happy for a minute. I don't know what that was about. I'm choosing not to reflect on it. And then I tell my parents, I'm like, I've had enough. And if I ever return to this place, it'd probably be as a ghost or during storm season just to see, hopefully, a tsunami or like just waves crash. And with the ultimatum that Tofino fucking sucks. I think it's a terrible fucking place. I don't recommend it unless you're white or you're a surfer. And if you're white, please message me what's your obsession with the beaches. Like, what is happening with y'all? I need the answers. And secondly, if you're a surfer, just stop acting like a fucking surfer. It's really cringe. Just stop. And yeah, Tofino just straight up sucked. It sucked. And I was kidnapped. And my mom on the dray wax, she's like, oh my god, Nav, did you enjoy the trip? And I was like, no, it was terrible. And they were like, well, we didn't want to go, and we took it because you've never been, and you wanted to go. And I was like, are you serious right now? And then in the most occasional brown people fashion, the kid of the family has to take the blame. And now I'm officially home, and this was roughly 2-ish weeks ago, and I've still been dealing with that trauma in the most Gen Z way possible, which is by suppressing it, and also trauma dumping on all you guys on the internet. And that is the end of my kidnapping story. I hope you enjoyed the story. I hope you enjoyed the rant. Yeah. Do me a favor and don't go there. And if you live in a Tofino, leave. I'm telling you, there's more to the world than Tofino. Consider leaving. Thank you very much for listening. And if you haven't yet, please stream episode 15. I talked about doing right by yourself versus others. And I've gotten a lot of messages about the episode being a very controversial. It was described as my most controversial take yet. But it also left a lot of my viewers wanting more on that episode and wanting that discussion to continue further. So I'll most likely be having that discussion in more depth with a guest. But if you haven't yet, please go stream it. Let me know your thoughts. I feel like it's going to get your mind working and thinking. And follow the Instagram for the show, quarterlife_chitchat. I'll be posting reels, and I'll be posting the video of me falling on my ass and honestly breaking my spine. You can see it all there, and DM me what topics you want me to cover. Next week, I'll be back with another fun episode. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye!